This is a nice little Samsung VCR. It's a model VT7253CC. I think this is probably from the mid to late 80s. I want to say 87, 88. I don't really have a lot of information on this. Google yields nothing. It's a very basic model. Digital tuner, but 2-head mono, very basic controls. The thrift store I picked it up from did have a Samsung remote being sold separately, and I just kind of grabbed it quickly. It's not the right remote, but then I figured, oh, you know, whatever, Samsung, it'll probably still work. Most brands reuse their codes, and Samsung does, but this one will repeat the code while holding it, and the VCR will respond to it, so it kind of goes crazy. If I hit TV VCR, so you gotta kind of just tap it ever so lightly. And that noise brings me to the one problem with this. It was absolutely mint condition. When I went to pull the screws out, I don't think they'd ever been removed. Like, they were torqued in there and tight. There wasn't any evidence of a screwdriver even touching them. But as you can hear, the bearings in the head are noisy, and they only got noisy once it warmed up, so you can definitely tell it's the bearings. And it's definitely coming from the video head. Plus side is it works great. This is not a good tape to demonstrate on. Let me pop in a good test tape. This is some old crap recorded 30 years ago on SLP. Not that SLP would be the problem, it was recorded off broadcast. It's got a nice picture. Can play with the tracking. Wow, actually, you know what? That's tracking all the way one direction. That's tracking all the way the other direction. Like, it barely changes anything. And you have a sharpness control, which is very nuanced. Pause is exactly what you'd expect for a 2-head model. Same with scanning in SP mode. It's still pretty decent. And other controls are your kind of run-of-the-mill VCR TV for the RF modulator, clock counter, show the counter, counter reset, you can turn memory on and off, focus that, and your channel, you can change channel while playing. Okay. And then all of this is just for setting a timer. Record speed, it's got the 3 record speeds, 1-touch record. You can change your tuner from cable to antenna. Again, that'll work even while playing. It's got automatic fine tuning, but I don't see any way to adjust the tuning unless maybe time also does that. That's weird. Inside, it's spotless. It's never had anyone in it. It's probably barely been used, which actually might be to its detriment. The lack of usage might have contributed to these noisy bearings in the head. Take a look inside here. Get your tape guides. What do we have for an idler? Oh, it's a rubber idler. And it's great. Brake pad's in good shape. There's some gears down there as well. Oh yeah, that's gear driven. You can see another belt down there. The pinch roller that I'm horrible at judging, I mean, this feels like brand new rubber to me. It's got that sort of tackiness that rubber has. Overall, if it wasn't for the noisy head motor, I would say this thing is just minty. I might run it for a while and see what this does. Really not much to say about this. You can take a look at the back side and open the bottom for the first time, probably in its life ever. I stand corrected. At one point this was serviced by the video refit shop. So there was actually a little bit of dust below. There's your ground wire for the bottom plate. A couple capacitors added after the fact, a little bodge. And here's the lower side of the mechanism. Again, like the last VCR I looked at had an excellent drive belt here, and this one's the same. This is real good. What about here? Yeah. That's good, man. It's real good. A little nasty on the bottom here. That wouldn't have been causing the noise I heard, but could still clean that up anyway. Ooh. That looks like it's been greased. I'm wondering if maybe the problem that this was brought into the service shop for was a noisy video head drum. Anyway, we got this motor here, which looks like it drives the mechanism that loads the head with the tape guides. And yeah, this motor does the capstan and then the idler for the two spools. So yeah, 1, 2, 3 motors. Nice little simple Samsung. I guess we can play with some of the functions. Rewind to tape. Goes at a pretty decent speed. I mean, what you'd expect for a machine of this age. You know what? That motor's loud too. Play. And you get a picture. Oh yeah, recorded off of the aerial. Off of broadcast. Do a pause. It's nothing special. Fast forward. And rewind. And everything in here seems to be working wonderfully. The pinch roller's nice and soft, no tape crunching. The heads seem to be nice and clean. This is the worst I can make the picture by adjusting the tracking. That is damn impressive.
Look out! That's nitroglycerin! If you drop that, it will blow up an area equal to 2,000 megatons over the mass of the non-fissionable materials. How big an area is that? About the size of this room.
So, yeah, that was just a quick video. I guess if anyone is ever looking for any information on this model, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward model. Samsung, this seems to be where they really made themselves, those cheap, like that black and white TV I looked at earlier. And, you know, these very basic machines, but basic and well built. That's kind of how Samsung and LG or Lucky Gold Star kind of brought themselves into the forefront, you know, building basic, inexpensive, but well-built machines. And this is a perfect example of it. There's really nothing to it, but it just sort of works well.